Representative Louie Gohmert of Texas is concerned about the impending military takeover by the government known as Jade Helm 15, the precursor to martial law. His office issued a statement on Sunday calling on the U.S. military to alter the operation. Really? So you're going to order or call on the military to say, we want you to change the whole details of this operation that you probably worked months on for this training exercise because we're a little nervous about it. Now, in his letter, he writes, when leaders within the current administration believe that major threats to the country include those who support the Constitution, are military veterans, or even cling to guns or religion, patriotic Americans have reason to be concerned. Funny he says that because veterans were also in the military, and that's who he's accusing of possibly trying to take over Texas. This is really amazing. Now, his issues with this whole thing is that he's seen some maps, right, that depicted hostile, permissive, and uncertain states and locations. I was rather appalled that the hostile states, or hostile areas, amazingly have a Republican majority and believe in the sanctity of the United States Constitution. So according to the maps drawn up by this exercise, those states, he sees these states that are conservative states being marked as hostile zones. Well, he sees that as some sort of weird problem, like a problem. As in, oh my God, they're coming to get us.
Yeah, this whole thing is very bizarre to me, and it sounds like something. Like, where was he saying all this stuff? I'm trying to figure that out here.
His office released an official statement on this.
Okay, so this wasn't
a statement. This wasn't him going on Alex Jones. This is from his office.
Yeah, because see, I was going to say, this sounds like something that maybe appeared in late night, like some late night talk show. Like, I was thinking, Alex Jones did come to my mind, yes, but I was also thinking maybe something like one of those Fox News late night shows, like Red Eye or something like that, where you're just trying to, bring up something controversial as a talking point and seeing where it goes. And this guy, whoa, he went out there. You know what I mean? Like, that's what this sounds like to me. This kind of bizarre, kind of right-wing paranoia that is just kind of creepy and kind of just the lowest, I don't want to say lowest common denominator, but just the kind of fringe, conspiracy, paranoid-oriented idea that the only people that would take this seriously are the people that literally think Obama is coming after their pistol as we speak.
And yeah, that would include people like Ted Cruz and Chuck Norris. Look, and even
wouldn't that be a fun dinner table convo?
Right, and even Texas Governor Greg Abbott, who had ordered his National Guard troops to watch our military as if we're some sort of invading power. Texas is a part of the United States. It's a state. Here's the funny thing, right? So he says in his statement, his office says, when the federal government begins, even in practice, games or exercises to consider any U.S. state in hostile control and trying to retake it, the message becomes extremely calloused and suspicious. Now, let me point out something that's also has been going around the right-wing fringe websites, and that's, ISIS coming across the border into Texas and having a base. The jihadists on the base. You hear it all the time.
Well, they're taking their trucks from the Middle East, Jeff, and then the truck turns into a submarine.
Sure.
And then they get to Texas, right? I mean, that's my understanding.
Yeah, they're going to Mexico, and they're hanging out with the drug gangs.
Okay, so the subway goes to Mexico.
Right, and the ISIS starts puttying pairing up with the drug gangs and everything, and they got a little base over in Juarez, Mexico, right? And then from there, they launched their invasion into the United States. One by one, the jihadists are coming.
Well, somebody should let the GOP know that they don't need to worry about this anymore because the Mexican drug gangs aren't there anymore because Walter White and his friends killed them all. So,
fair enough. But no, okay. So
they don't have to worry about the submarine to Mexico.
So anyway, the funny thing about this, right?
The whole thing's pretty funny, Jeff. But
It is. But I wanted to point out this specific little part, right? So they're worried about ISIS coming across the border. Well, here's a little conspiracy to throw into your conspiracy, right? Maybe the United States is drawing up a scenario where ISIS has taken over Texas, and they're fighting, making a war game to see how that fight would play out, and training for it. Or here's another idea: Texas is a desert, right? Mostly desert, and so is the Middle East. Maybe they're practicing fighting in conditions like the Middle East because they're planning on fighting more in the Middle East. Interesting.
That first scenario is much more likely, Jeff.
Oh, is it?
I think ISIS is taking over Texas, and you know what? To clarify, just so we're factually accurate on this story that has a lot of merit here. It wasn't Walter White. It was Gus. So we'll have to let everybody know. It was Gus. Are you not a Breaking Bad fan?
Oh no, I haven't seen the whole show. I saw it in bits and pieces. So
geez,
I have to have time to Netflix the whole thing.
Forget what I just said then and go watch it first of all, because Breaking Bad was genius. And I made a Breaking Bad reference because that has as much merit in the real world as this story does.
To be fair, I do know who Gus was. He got exploded, and it was awesome.
Yeah. Spoiler alert. You got to finish the show though, man. I love the ending. I know that one of our other contributors, who has been missing for a little bit, will hopefully be back soon. Dan, not a big fan of the ending, and we've gone back and forth of that off mic before. One of these days we'll have to do it on mic. I think that'd be a fun conversation. He has some good reasoning, but I don't see eye to eye with his assessment. I do think he is a bit grumpy when it comes to a lot of stuff in pop culture. And this is coming from me. From me. So that's... Anyway.
Dan grumpy? Not at all. Never.
Anywho.
As far as this goes, I mean, Louie Gohmert is probably the dumbest congressman we've ever had.
Louie Gohmert will probably be wearing a tinfoil hat at the next congressional meeting. I mean, honestly, that's where... I mean, this dude's out there. I mean, this is... Like, I figured this was something that he said at 3 a.m. and then the next morning he woke up and he's like, oh, man, I need to stop. I need to stop drinking before I do those late-night spots on Fox. It's making me look bad, even to their viewers. But no, his office put this out. I feel like there had to have been an intern that was sort of close to saying that, was like, are you sure? And he was like, yeah. And he's like, oh, okay. And or not. I don't know.
Oh, maybe you're just casting aspersions on Louie Gohmert's asparagus.
Could be.
You could be. Don't, and you know, we've learned that we better avoid doing that.